Hey everyone, Brian here at Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Friday to everyone. It is time for another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. This is our daily updates here where we talk about what we did in our little restoration shop. So why don't we start with Black Oval. So we got all the brake parts in today, combination of parts from Eddie at Eddie and Dave's Garage and Wolfsburg West. So Eddie for what they didn't have at Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg is obviously our normal supplier, but Eddie helps us out here and there when we can't get something for them or we're otherwise in a pinch or whatever. But anyway, yeah, so Eddie was able to get the brake shoes for this car, which Wolfsburg West was out of. And I think that was the main thing we got from him. Pretty much everything else came from our friends over at Wolfsburg West. So yeah, Jacob was in today, and so he went ahead and he had pulled the cylinders off all four wheels yesterday, but the brake shoes were still on, the brake lines were on, etc. So we were pretty much replacing all that stuff. So he started off the day by pretty much removing everything from all four brakes, and then at that point basically rebuilding them. So I rebuilt the front brakes, Jacob did the back, and Jacob put on the brake hoses on the back, and then I made new brake lines on the back, and I put the front lines and brakes together. So kind of a team effort here. I kind of mostly took one end of the car, he took the other, and we were both back and forth a little bit, but that's pretty much how that went down. I will show you the new brake lines that I made because we love making neat looking brake lines here. So there you see coming out there, making a nice little jog and then going up to where it goes on the axle there. So before they looked more like that. So, yuck. Super ugly. Bends, and on top of that all rusty and stuff. So no, this is a nice car. It can't have a brake line like that. So yeah, made nice new ones for it. And then while we're doing all that, we went ahead and replaced the brake hoses, which looked old, not necessarily cracked, but they're relatively inexpensive. So if you're going this far replacing wheel cylinders and shoes and everything else and hard brake lines, it doesn't really make any sense to reuse these. So there you go. That's what we did. So one thing that we ran into on the back is, the brake shoes that we got from Eddie were actually made by Impy. So, sometimes I don't know about Impy, guys. We'll just leave it there. If you watch the channel, I've got plenty to say about Impy pretty often, although some of their products are great, so we'll just kind of leave it at that. However, in this case, and I don't know if this is an Impy thing or what, but so this is an old brake shoe. The new ones were too tall in this area here by probably like a good 1/8 of an inch. So we took the old one, so this is an old one obviously, and like laid it. Well, first off, what happened was, again, Jacob was doing the back brakes on this. So he assembled everything on there, the brakes, the lever and the push rod and stuff like that for the e-brake, all that. And the drums just would not go on, even though the adjusters were adjusted all the way in. And so the sort of diameter, circumference, whatever you want to call it, of the brake shoes, it doesn't get any smaller than that. When the adjusters are all the way in, that's it. And even with the brake shoes carefully centered and stuff like that, the drums just would not go on. And so we kind of started scratching our heads, and finally we ended up taking the new brake shoes and literally like laying them on top of the old ones. And yeah, we could see that on this end here, which is the end that goes on the adjuster, that they were a good 1/8 of an inch too tall compared to these original ones, or not original ones, but the ones that were on there. And so there was no way to adjust them down anymore and get the drums to go on. So finally we marked them, and Jacob went and cut about an 1/8 of an inch off the adjuster side of each of the 4 back shoes, and then they went together great. So yeah, I don't know, guys, super weird. So on oval windows, they use the same brake shoes front and back, and so on the front they went on fine, it wasn't an issue, but on the back, again, they would not go on, and so we had to trim them down. So I don't know if Impy makes their shoes a little longer in here on purpose or what the heck's going on, but they would literally not go on. And so again, solution was to cut about 1/8 of an inch off them. Boom, they went on. We got plenty of room to adjust them out properly and so on. So super weird. I don't know if anybody ever runs into that. Maybe if hopefully you'll have seen this video and you know that you might have to trim those brake shoes. So yeah, it took way longer than it should have, but you know, sometimes replacement parts are like that. But anyway, so back drums are on now, not adjusted yet, super loose, but we got plenty of adjustment because the adjusters are in all the way. So axle nuts are torqued down and with cotter pins. The front brakes, this is tight in here, guys. Let me pause for a second. Okay, here we go. So the front brakes are all assembled, and I think Jacob already kind of like test fit the drums, and they went right on. So whatever that issue was did not seem to affect the front brakes. So super weird, guys, but that's what we had to do. Anyway, so these are all assembled, ready to put the drums on, and of course adjust the drum nuts, the axle nuts, and so on. So yeah, new front brake hoses. And that's about it. His master cylinder looked fine. We didn't see any signs of leaking there. One thing I want to show you guys, hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. One thing I want to show you guys is the steering coupler on this car, which again, the steering coupler is basically a rubber disc about so big around. It's got 4 holes in it. It connects the steering shaft to the steering box via some little flanges, and they're rubber, that's impregnated with cloth. And so even if the rubber cracks, they still work. Like, I don't know that they can really fail catastrophically and that you would totally lose your steering. However, you guys have to see this one to believe it. Get up in here. So the only thing pretty much left on this one is the cloth, which you can see has gotten all gnarly looking and stuff up in there. But yeah, believe it or not, this is a running, driving car with a steering coupler like that. And I'm sure it had excessive play because that cloth is going to be, you know, sort of allow it to squish around, so to speak, a lot more than it would if that cloth was, you know, embedded in the rubber like it's supposed to be. But I have never seen one like that. That's kind of amazing, honestly, that the rubber is just gone completely. I don't know how many years, if this is like literally the original steering coupler on this car, maybe, I don't know. This is like the damnedest thing I think I've ever seen. So needless to say, we will be replacing that, and I don't know, I might have to like use that for wall art or something. It's kind of amazing. But I think in a way it's a testament to the design of these cars that they could fail that bad as far as like the rubber is just gone and the car still steered and was probably relatively safe. That having been said, terrible idea to keep driving it like that now that we know it's like that, and so we will be replacing it. But wow, guys, I was fairly blown away when I saw that. So anyway, that's enough about that. So that was pretty much this car. This one is done as of last night, being polished. And so Renee still has to paint the hood, the deck lid, and the doors, and that will hopefully be happening soon. And then, of course, they will also be polished up like the rest of it. And then those guys, Raul and Renee, are still, of course, working on the orange Ghia making tons of progress on it. I'll give you an update on that one someday soon. But this one I spent kind of the morning on, or part of the morning at least. I did have to, I think I mentioned yesterday that it did have a 6-volt flasher relay in it, which has probably been in there for a long time, but the turn signals didn't work. And so there was no real, I guess there was no real current going through the relay, the flasher relay, because the just had all kinds of issues in the turn signal circuit. And so anyway, once I got the turn signals starting to work, this happened yesterday, not too long into that process, the 6-volt flasher relay burnt out. So not surprisingly, running it at 12 volts. This car is 12 volts. It's got an alternator on it. So anyway, managed to get a 12-volt flasher relay today and wired it in, and boom, this car now has very good working turn indicators on it. So took care of that this morning. I tried for probably an hour, maybe over an hour, to get the horn on here to work, and it actually honked a couple times when a wire sort of grounded out, and then I couldn't get it to work anymore. But the horn itself still works. It's a mess. There's something wrong in that circuit. That I tried all the sort of normal stuff, the steering wheel, the horn button, making sure that it was making a ground contact in there. The wires on the horn, which is kind of up here under the bumper, stuff like that. I couldn't get it to work, and I may try a little bit more, but yeah, that's not happening. The other thing that I got to work, which I can show you, is I did get the license plate light to work. So look at that. The main issue there, well, there were two issues there. One is it had a 6-volt bulb in it, but the bulb was getting almost no voltage. So otherwise it probably would have blown out in short order. So put a new 12-volt bulb in it, and then the contacts were terrible in it, and so that wasn't helping. And then also it didn't have any ground. I guess all the paint jobs on this car. So I went ahead and scraped some paint on the mounting surface there, and cleaned up the bulb holder where it goes onto that mounting surface and stuff like that, and got a good ground, and boom, it worked. So that was kind of a satisfying little project. So all the lights on this car work now. The owner asked me if I could take a look at the wipers, so I may still do that. And yeah, I may take one more look at the horn just to make sure I didn't, sort of miss something. But other than that, this car is probably going to be going back to him probably like early next week. So guys, I should mention there will not be a Saturday issue or episode rather this week. We're heading to San Diego to spend some time with my family down there. So yeah, no episode tomorrow. So sorry about that. However, I did take a good, maybe minute long or so video driving this car. I did actually take this car out, and I drove it the other day, but I just kind of literally went around the block, and I don't think I got out of maybe third gear, barely into third gear. So today I took it out and put probably just couple miles, 2-3 miles on it. But I had this thing in fourth gear, and was putting the brakes to a good test and stuff like that. This little car runs and drives great. The motor seems to be very healthy. The carburetors are working great, which of course I replaced. Got it back here when it was all good and warmed up, and then fine-tuned the idle mixture, which I just started at the standard turn and a half out, and that turned out to be a little bit rich. So dialed those in a little bit. The motor actually smoothed out a bit at idle. So yeah, this thing is running great. I'm actually very excited for its owner to get it back and be able to finally start driving this thing. So, but yeah, a couple little minor details on it that I may take care of it before it goes back, but it's pretty much done. So again, very happy for him to get it back and start having some fun with it. He's had this thing for a while, so good for him to be able to drive it finally. Some other things happening today. Long block is back. This is a 1600 dual port for this baby. So this is back from Brian Roth at Roth Vintage, fully rebuilt, and he went ahead and like bolted everything to it of his, or stuff that he has around the shop, and did the cam brake in and everything like that. So this motor has been bench tested, running. He didn't dyno it, but he bench tested it, did the cam brake in, etc. So this thing is ready to put together and put in the car. We did also get a bunch of, sorry guys, having a senior moment here. A bunch of powder coating back. I think most of this, maybe half of this, I don't know guys. We took a lot of stuff to powder coating. At least some of this, including the shroud and those tins you see there, is for the 36 horse for this guy, this oval. And I believe some of this tin is for, no, actually that car's tin is over there. So sorry guys, I got so many parts I'm trying to keep track of in my brain. I believe this is the engine tin for this car, for that motor. This is mostly engine tin for the 36 horse, for the 56. And then there's also some Ghia parts in there, including this gas tank. So yeah, that's the parts. The other thing that came in today is this lovely pile of parts. And these are all for the orange, the signal orange Ghia here. Set of wheels, which I'm going to keep under wraps for now. You can see that they're impy, but I guess you don't know which ones they are. We're going to keep that way for a while because that's kind of fun. And this is a full set of Wilwood brakes also for that Ghia. 4-piston front, 2-piston back with black calipers. And that is the bitchin' enormous master cylinder that Air-Cooled Vintage Works exclusively sells. I love that thing. The pedal feel on that master cylinder is unbelievable. So good. So yeah, lots of parts coming in. Motors, powder coating. We're still waiting on some zinc plating. We're still waiting on some ceramic coating. But yeah, hopefully next week the rest of these puzzle pieces will be coming in and we can get this motor together, get that motor together. All kinds of fun stuff. So anyway, guys, that is it for today. And as I mentioned earlier, that is it for this week. So thank you guys very much for watching. And I guess we will see you again on Monday, other than the video of driving this, which I'll release at some point this weekend. So thanks again, everyone. See you soon. Bye.